Let's take a check on the two teams for you then. As is so often the case, both coaches have made wholesale changes. In fact, only Charles Soyuncu remains from Leicester's starting lineup at Brentford on Sunday. Vardy, Tielemans, Evans and Schmeichel get the night off. Maddison and Iheanacho are amongst their subs. The midfield four all came through the academy. Chowdhury and Thomas are familiar names. Daly Campbell and Dewsbury Hall less so. A real buzz about Patson Daka after he scored all four in Leicester's Europa League win a week ago in Moscow. Just the 8 changes for Graham Potter. Gross, Byrne and Veltman, the trio who survived from Saturday's defeat to Manchester City. Amongst those coming in, 19-year-olds Hayden Roberts and Jeremy Sarmiento, who've been involved in earlier rounds. Sanchez, Duncan, Trossard haven't travelled, but Neil Maupay is on their bench. Jason Steele yet to concede a goal in the competition this season. Ahead of him, a very experienced back three. All change up front, with Connolly partnering McAllister. We are to have a minute's silence ahead of kick-off as fans, players and coaching staff are invited to pay their respects to their former chairman, Kun Vichai. It is 3 years ago tonight that he died along with 2 of his employees and 2 pilots in a tragic helicopter crash outside the ground.
Today marks 3 years since a tragedy here at King Power Stadium claimed the lives of our beloved chairman, Kun Vichai Sriwatanaprapal, Kavaporn Punpar, Rusana Suknamai, Eric Swaffer and Isabella Lekowitz. The heartfelt wishes of everyone at Leicester City go out to the families, and we'd like to invite everyone to join us in a minute's silence to remember them, starting and ending with the referee's whistle.
Perfect observation for a man who built this club and still means so much to the supporters. Our referee tonight is the Australian Jared Gillett. Turns 35 next week, made his Premier League debut a couple of weeks ago in the game between Watford and Newcastle United. Patson Daka cost £23 million from Red Bull Salzburg. 4 goals against Spartak Moscow and 1 in his last appearance here against Manchester United. Again, the players take the knee. There is no room for racism. Almost down for Chowdhury. And now looking to find the pace of Daka. Steele, that was a little bit loose, and Barnes has seized upon it, and Barnes hammers it into the bottom corner. A wonderful start for Leicester City. It's a shocker for Brighton. Well, the initial pass back here from Duffy to Steele was a little short. Daka's pressure, and Steele then with a ball that was in between two players, and how Barnes made him pay. Steele, I'm sure, will take the bulk of the blame here, but collective errors as well within that defensively from Brighton's point of view. It's a very smart finish all the same from Harvey Barnes, who has been struggling for a bit of form this season. He's been left out of the last two Premier League games by Brendan Rodgers, but back with a bang today. It's just before half-time. It's a really good hit from McAllister after a fabulous run from Sarmiento. Corner swung towards Duffy, and it's dropping invitingly, and it's scuffed home by Webster. And Brighton have equalised before half-time. Reward for their improvement since the half hour. Delight for the travelling Brighton faithful. They thought their chance had gone when McAllister's effort was tipped over the bar by Ward. But it's won initially by Duffy and drops kindly for Webster, who's found room in the 6-yard box and scuffs it into the bottom corner and beyond Danny Ward for 1-1. No way through for Daka. Sarmiento has left it short, Lookman is in, and Lookman has scored! Unbelievable climax to the first half at the King Power Stadium. No sooner have Brighton levelled, and they've gifted Leicester a second goal. Full marks to Ademola Lookman, who was so alert to what might unfold here. It's a blot on the copybook of Sarmiento, who has done so well so far this evening. But the 90-year-old left the back pass to his goalkeeper short, and Ademola Lookman was quick enough to pounce and profit and score. Leicester 2, Brighton 1. Brighton were level for Leicester. Opening day, but has only been used sparingly as a sub since, but he's made an impression since coming on. McAllister. Here's Mopé, Cucurella. In goes the cross, and Wepu with a header, and it's in! It's 2-2! It has been coming. It's Enoch Wepu with his first goal for Brighton and Hove Albion. Well, he's thrown on the big guns, and they've delivered. Mopé and Cucurella heavily involved, and when the Spaniard sends in the cross, and Wepu has found space and does enough to steer it beyond Ward, and the man covering on the line, Soyuncu, who couldn't grow enough to get his head to it. 2-2, Brighton level again. Can they hold on for longer than they managed at the end of the first half? corner. And the other part of the equation, it looks as though Leicester City will take the first spot kick. Both these goalkeepers have been shootout heroes for their clubs. Remarkably, this is the 6th time in their last 12 Carabao Cup ties that Leicester City have gone to a penalty shootout. They've won 4 of the previous 5, including the last 2. How will the drama unfold? James Maddison, the first to accept the responsibility from 12 yards. And Maddison scores. Still sent the wrong way, but there's a long way to go yet. First up for Brighton, the captain Pascal Gross. All 3 of his goals last season came from the penalty spot. So Gross against Danny Ward to restore parity. Comfortably taken. 1-1. Ward leaping to his right, making up Gross's mind for him, perhaps. Harvey Barnes next for Leicester. Gave Brendan Rodgers' team the perfect start with that opener after 6 minutes. Can he do the business from the penalty spot? Yes, he can. Again, still going to the right. And the ball goes the other way. Neil Maupay next up for Brighton. Scored against Leicester from the spot at the Amex in September. On that day, it was Kasper Schmeichel trying to keep him out. Tonight, it's Danny Ward, shootout hero in this competition for Leicester 3 years ago against Wolves and Southampton. And Maupay hits the bar. Advantage Leicester. Of all people, it's Brighton's leading scorer who fluffs his lines. Two penalties each. Leicester hold a slender advantage. Patson Daka, 4 goals in Moscow a week ago, with a chance to put a bit of daylight between Leicester and Brighton. Top corner. He really enjoyed that. What a perfect penalty. Not sure many goalkeepers could have kept that out. Now the pressure beginning to mount. Alexis McAllister, the Argentine international. Can't afford to miss. Wouldn't be curtains just yet, but nearly. Terrific effort. Powerful, right in the corner. And even though Ward guessed the right way, he was never going to get there. There's life in Brighton yet. It's Ricardo. Is this the moment for Jason Steele to anticipate correctly? Ricardo, a late substitute tonight. Didn't have many touches of the ball. Needs a firm one and a decisive one here, and he provides it. Leicester are nearly home. Steele again, going to his right. Enoch and Wepu tasted delights earlier this evening with that header that made it 2-2 and took us to penalties. Now he has to score, otherwise Brighton are heading out. Oh, Ward guesses correctly, and Danny Ward again comes up with the goods in a shootout for Leicester City. It's more heartbreak for Brighton in this competition. Yet again, they have failed to reach the quarter-final stage. Yet again, Leicester have made the last 8. And Wepu unable to put it in the bottom corner, and Danny Ward able to get across and get both hands to it. Leicester City march on after Brighton's brave fight. Twice they came back, first through Webster and then from Mwepu, but ultimately it's the young Zambian whose penalty miss sends Brendan Rodgers' men through to the last 8. Final score at the King Power Stadium, 2-2 on the night. Leicester win 4-2 on penalties.
It's a race towards a final showdown at Wembley Stadium and a chance to lift the Carabao Cup. Catch the action on SuperSport, your world of champions. This broadcast is brought to you by 33 Export Lager Beer. Taste that unites, and Bet9 Jar.